People always assume air traffic controllers chose the job because they love structure, stability, control. But the truth is simpler. I was waiting for something, someone, even if I never admitted it out loud. The weather that night was a nightmare. Thunderstorms rolling through Philadelphia like a warning. My headset buzzed with overlapping requests, clipped voices, impatience threaded into every syllable. "Why'd you become a controller, Aria?" a coworker teased earlier, half joking, half bitter. I'd shrugged. "Maybe I'm waiting for something." Then his voice cut through the static. A voice I hadn't heard in years. A voice that had once reached me at my weakest, when we were teenagers, when the world felt colder than the sky above us. Jaxon Storm, pilot, golden boy, untouchable, and the only person who had ever stood between me and the cruelty of the world when no one else bothered to look twice. My breath caught. I knew that voice like I knew my own heartbeat. Philadelphia approach. Aura 9082. Ready for instructions, he said. He was back, and I wasn't ready. I tried to steady my voice. Aura 9082. Radar contact. Descend and maintain flight level 100. I wanted it to sound professional. It didn't. My hands trembled against the console. The storm thickened, lightning cutting sideways across the horizon. Then suddenly, windshield crack, we need assistance. Alarms, shouts, the tight, hollow quiet that only comes before catastrophe. Aura 982. Do you copy? Minutes stretched into eternity. Then, runway 06C, cleared for landing. I commanded. Emergency teams are standing by. Those 2 minutes felt like years. But when the aircraft hit the ground and didn't explode into fire, when the runway lights reflected off the metal belly of the plane rolling safely to a stop, only then did I let myself breathe again. He was home. Alive, but not mine. The reunion crowd swarmed him. Flight attendants, passengers, co-workers, news crews. Someone joked about wedding bells between him and Sloane, his longtime friend, glamorous and sharp-tongued. It made sense. She fit his world. I didn't. Then days later, I walked into a blind date arranged by our parents and found him sitting there, the boy I'd loved in secret for a decade, the man who didn't even remember me, and I shattered quietly all over again. "Grace, right?" he said. "I'm Jaxon." I smiled because what else could I do? "Aria." "Yes, nice to meet you." He didn't remember me, but my heart hadn't forgotten him for a moment. Yet something strange happened that night. He lingered, asked for my number, looked at me like I mattered, like he was curious, like he wasn't ready to walk away. Still, when I overheard at the school reunion that he and Sloane were engaged, I felt myself crumble. Why was he even here with me? Why had fate thrown him into my life again? I swallowed the ache and decided to escape the moment. I told everyone I felt unwell and slipped out of the hall, only to hear footsteps behind me. "Aria," a voice called. I turned, and there he was, eyes steady, holding out his hand. "You dropped this," he said softly, offering a napkin. "Are you okay?" "Fine," I whispered. "Just didn't expect tonight to turn out like this." He hesitated, then asked something so absurd, I thought I misheard. "Have you ever considered marriage?" I blinked. "Marriage? To me?" he added, voice low. "Not for romance. My family's pressuring me, maybe yours too. We could help each other, marry each other." The man I'd adored silently for 10 years asking me this. I couldn't sleep that night. I replayed everything over and over. The look in his eyes, his calm voice, the history between us he didn't even remember. And yet, maybe this was fate's strange, crooked way of giving me one last chance. A chance to stand beside him, even if it wasn't truly mine. The next day, he found me again. "Well?" he asked. "Have you thought about it?" I looked at him. Really looked. At the man who had unknowingly held my heart since high school. at the storm of emotions I could never voice, and I nodded. I'll marry you, Jaxon. I should have felt relief when Aria said yes. This arrangement was meant to be simple, clean, convenient, something that pacified family drama and media pressure, but nothing about her felt simple. Why did she make my chest tighten unpredictably? Why did her quietness unsettle me? Why did her sadness at the reunion feel like a punch to my ribs? I tried to tell myself it didn't matter, but when she whispered, "I'll marry you," something inside me shifted, something I didn't understand yet, something dangerous. The next morning, I picked her up and drove straight to the courthouse. No hesitation. We registered our marriage in under 15 minutes. No flowers, no music, no ceremony, just her signature next to mine. And when the clerk handed us the papers and called her Mrs. Storm, she blinked as if trying to process the reality of it. We drove home quietly. She followed me through the front door like someone stepping into a dream she wasn't sure belonged to her. "Pick any room you want," I said casually. "Or we can share." Her face flushed. "Guest bedroom, please." I should have laughed, teased her. But instead I found myself watching her every movement, every breath, every tiny flicker of expression. She was nervous. And for some reason, I loved that. "Welcome home, Aria," I murmured. She looked up, startled, and for the first time, I wondered, had I made a mistake asking for a marriage of convenience? Because nothing about this woman felt convenient at all. Aria living with Jaxon felt like stepping into a world I'd only ever watched from afar. He moved through the apartment with quiet confidence, brushing past me in the hallway, offering casual smiles that made my pulse catch every single time. But shadows followed us too, mostly in the form of Sloane. She appeared at our door one morning, wearing entitlement like perfume. "What are you doing here?" she hissed at me. Then, without waiting for my answer, "Me and Jaxon come here whenever I want." She pushed past me as if she owned the air inside our home. I didn't want to fight. I never did. But when she spat, "You little bastard child of a mistress," something inside me snapped. "Leave," I said quietly. The name on the door isn't Whitlock. It escalated fast, voices rising, accusations cutting sharp. Sloane grabbed a wine glass, flung it at me, forced tears, tried to paint herself the victim. The moment Jaxon walked in, "Liam, she attacked me," she cried, using his full name, desperate for familiarity. But Jackson's eyes were fixed on me, really fixed, and then he shocked both of us. "Sloane," he said coldly, "get out of my house." She stared at him in disbelief, mascara streaking. "Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't I know you were married?" "Because," Jaxon said, "it's none of your business." Sloane trembled, realized she had lost something she'd assumed was hers forever, and stormed out. The door clicked shut. The silence after was loud. "You're defending me," I whispered. Jaxon didn't answer. He simply stepped closer, studying me with intensity that made my breath break unevenly. After that day, something shifted between us. He started waiting for me after work, picking me up, asking if I'd eaten, standing closer than necessary, looking at me for just a beat too long. But then the rumors began. "Jackson's been flying extra shifts with Sloane," my coworkers whispered. "They must be getting close again." The thought seared through me like a burn. Had I misunderstood everything? Was his kindness just guilt? Was I truly nothing more than convenience? On the night I heard he was flying with her again, I stood in the control tower fighting a knot in my chest. The screens glowed, radio chatter buzzed, and suddenly, Aria, Jackson's voice, not the professional tone he used with other controllers. "Mrs. Storm," he corrected softly. "The passenger pulled through, thanks to you." Why did hearing that from him undo me so easily? I tried to keep my voice cool, just doing my job. But when the shift ended and rain pounded the windows like a heartbeat, He insisted on driving me home. "I'll see you tonight," he said. He always said it gently, like a promise. I shouldn't have hoped for more, but I did. I always did. Jaxon, I didn't understand what Aria was doing to me. At first, I told myself I was just being considerate. It was basic decency to defend her against Sloane's cruelty, to drive her home, to make sure she ate, to check on her, to look for her. But I knew better now. Consideration didn't make your chest tighten when another man looked at your wife. Consideration didn't make you furious that her coworkers didn't know she was married. Consideration definitely didn't make you step away from a flight just to see whether she'd text you back. No, this was something else. Something I hadn't planned on. Something that scared me because it mattered. Sloane didn't understand. She never had. She cornered me at the airport after a flight, voice low and urgent. "Why can't you see we belong together? Our families match. Our lives match. Grace, Aria, she'll never fit in our world." "Our world?" I repeated. "You don't belong in my world. And don't insult Aria again." Sloane froze. It was the first time I'd spoken to her that way. Later that night, Aria texted to cancel dinner. Last-minute overtime. My chest tightened, not with anger, with something closer to fear. Was she avoiding me? I didn't want her drifting away. I didn't want her thinking she was alone in this marriage, convenient or not. So I made a decision. I would start reporting my takeoffs and landings to her. Every flight, every time zone, every night. "Why would you do that?" she asked softly. "So you don't have to wonder," I said. The truth I didn't say was simpler. I needed her to think of me. I needed her to know I was coming back. But everything started slipping the moment Reed, my co-pilot, showed interest in her. Milo, they called him. Reed. Too confident, too flirty, too eager to talk to my wife. Sloane had tried to set them up, and the thought alone made my hands clench. Aria didn't say much, but when she told me what Sloane had tried, something primal flared in me. "Don't answer him if he contacts you," I said. "I'll handle it." She blinked at me, startled, maybe even pleased. One night, she fell asleep on the couch, pure exhaustion. I carried her to bed, laying her gently beside the pillows. But when I tried to leave, she sleepily grabbed my shirt and wouldn't let go. She held on to me like I was safety itself. "Grace, let's sleep together from now on," I murmured without thinking, using her name from school, her old name, the one she'd lived behind. She panicked adorably when she woke, cheeks flushed, stumbling over words. "Move into the master bedroom with me," she finally whispered. I didn't hide my smile. But then she saw me with Sloane in the hallway after a flight. Sloane forced a kiss on me before I could stop her. Aria saw everything. She turned white, walked away without a word. And for the first time in my adult life, I felt real fear. I chased her. "Aria," I said, breathless. "It's not what you think." She wouldn't look at me. "Then tell me what I'm supposed to think," she whispered. And I knew that if I didn't fix this, I might lose her, even though she'd never truly been mine. Not yet. Aria, for a long moment, I stood frozen in the hallway at work, his voice echoing in my memory. "It's not what you think." But I'd seen Sloane's hands gripping his jacket, her mouth pressed against his. The way she clung like she had a claim on him. I didn't want to hear excuses, didn't want to admit how badly it hurt. So I buried myself in work, in radio calls, in shifting frequencies and runway assignments. Anything but the storm inside me. But when Jaxon appeared at the tower door later that night, rain-soaked, breath unsteady, as if he'd run the entire way, I felt the first crack in my resolve. "Aria," he said, voice low, "please look at me." I forced myself to stay professional. "You should go home." He stepped closer. "Not without you." I hated how my heart responded before my logic could object. The storm outside roared, one of the worst weather systems we'd had in weeks. but the storm between us, that was quieter, more dangerous. "Do you trust me?" he asked. "I don't know," I whispered. He flinched, actually flinched, as if I'd struck him. "I didn't kiss her," he said. "She forced it, and I pushed her away the moment I realized what she was doing." The honesty in his voice cut through me. He didn't make excuses. He didn't sweeten the truth. He simply told me what happened, and for the first time, I wondered if I'd been the one running. Before I could answer, a diversion request hit my console, an emergency allergy reaction mid-flight, Jackson's flight. My voice steadied instinctively. Aura 9013, Philadelphia approach, descend and maintain flight, level 80, cleared for runway 20L. Priority landing. Even through chaos, even with fear gnawing at my chest, I guided them in safely. When the wheels touched down and the ambulance rushed forward, my body sagged with relief. Later, when the passengers were safe and the airport quieted, I found him waiting at the bottom of the tower steps, hands deep in his pockets, staring straight at me like I was gravity itself. "You saved us," he said. I shook my head. "I just did my job." "No," he whispered. "You brought me home, again." Something between us softened, or maybe it shifted back into place. Something that had been waiting for years. But then Carter returned. My childhood protector, the boy who used to step in when the world mocked me, the one person besides Jackson who had ever made me feel like I mattered. Seeing him again was almost surreal. His familiar smile, his voice echoing through the frequency. He invited me to dinner at the old restaurant near the airport. Nostalgia tugged me there before I could overthink. But when he reached over the table, brushing a loose strand of hair from my face, a familiar warmth flared, but not the right kind. And then Jackson arrived, standing behind me with a storm in his eyes. I swallowed. "This is Jackson, my husband." Carter froze. Jackson extended a hand, jaw tight. The tension between them was sharp enough to cut. Later, Jackson asked quietly, "Why weren't you wearing your ring?" I panicked. "I rushed this morning, forgot." His expression told me he wasn't convinced. Eventually, Carter pulled me aside before leaving. "I've liked you for a long time," he said. "If he hurts you, Aria, I won't step aside." I had no words, only confusion, only the weight of two different pasts pressing in from opposite sides. But Jackson's voice anchored me. "Let's get married," he said that night. "For real." I stared up at him. "We already did." "No," he whispered. "Not like this, not halfway, not as an arrangement. I want you, all of you." My heart answered before my lips did. Yes. Jackson, the realization that Aria had loved me for 10 years hit me like a physical blow. I found the old photos in her drawer by accident, her collection of printed memories. And there I was, a younger version of myself, frozen in time, completely unaware of the girl who watched from the edge of every crowd. And suddenly everything made sense. The way she looked away when I got too close. The tremble in her voice the first time she heard me again over the radio. The quiet ache she carried around like a scar. She had loved me long before I ever earned it. And now I wanted to spend the rest of my life deserving that love. But Sloane wasn't done causing trouble. She approached Carter, manipulated him, fueled his jealousy. She wanted Aria unhappy, wanted me miserable enough to run back to her. Then Milo Reed uncovered the truth. Sloane had faked the matching ring story. She'd gone to the jeweler, found a replica, and wore it just to break us apart. When I confronted her, the last of my patience evaporated. "Whatever game you're trying to play between me and Aria," I said, "it's over. Stay away from us." But her poisoned words lingered. "You do know she doesn't love you," Sloane hissed. "She's been waiting for someone else for 10 years. For a moment, fear stabbed through me. Could she be right? Did Aria still love Carter? Then Carter himself confronted me. Did you marry Aria for love, or was she just convenient? "We're having our wedding soon," I told him, "and you and the whole world will know she's mine." But his last words stayed with me. "Are you sure she truly loves you?" Doubt is a dangerous thing. It crawls into quiet spaces and poisons everything it touches. It wasn't until that evening, when Aria confessed in the softest, most fragile voice, that the ground beneath me steadied again. "The one I loved in high school was you, Jaxon," she said. "It's always been you." I pulled her close, heart hammering. All the years I'd wasted not seeing her, all the blind moments, all the missed chances. I swore to myself none of it would happen again. I proposed at 30,000 feet. When we landed, I walked her onto the tarmac, set the runway lights glowing like stars, and dropped to one knee. "Aria," I told her, "I had this ring made just for you. One of a kind, just like you, just like what I feel for you. Will you marry me? Truly? Completely?" She trembled, but her voice was steady. "Jaxon, yes." The world fell away. Only her hands in mine remained warm, certain, anchoring me to everything that mattered. "I love you, Aria," I whispered, and for the first time, she believed me.